Welcome back to This Week in Sheffield. We hope you've had a lovely Christmas break and we're so excited to get started again with a new season, bringing you the top stories from our university and Sheffield. My name is Adam Husicka and today we have a lot in store for you. Here are your headlines.
A man has been arrested following a 36-hour-long standoff with police in an apartment building on Broad Street. He allegedly had firearms and threatened to communicate with a bomb hoax. Sheffield is set to run out of burial space in a matter of years. This issue is particularly impacting faith groups, such as the Muslim and Jewish communities. The price of coffee is rising across the country, with Arabica beans the most popular choice globally having been impacted by bad weather and ongoing rising costs of production. Stay tuned for this and more on This Week in Sheffield.
A man was arrested yesterday on Broad Street following a 36-hour-long standoff with police. On Monday, he entered the Gateway apartment building with weapons. Police were called to the scene and local residents were evacuated. Some were taken to hotels while others were housed in Pom Sabre Sports Centre, including our very own activities officer Anna Campbell. The 47-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of possession of a firearm and threats to kill and communicate with a bomb hoax. Police had to cordon off the area, which included the closure of a number of roads and tram services, impacting thousands of commuters. South Yorkshire Police described this situation as challenging as residents start to move back to their apartments.
It's really quite hard to explain. It's just kind of scary because I guess the place, your home's your safe place and you can't now access it because of what's been going on. So it's just been a bit confusing and I think I had a very different experience because I wasn't in the building when they evacuated it. I spoke to a lot of my neighbours and they said that was quite scary, but it is still a bit scary. I think I'm just very tired, a bit confused, a bit shaken, a little bit scared, kind of just unknown. We still don't know when we can access the building or when I can go home. So it's just a bit weird. Kind of just feel a bit in limbo, I suppose.
There may soon be very little space to bury a loved one in Sheffield as the city is set to run out of burial space in just 3 to 5 years. This issue is particularly having an impact on faith communities, such as Muslims. I went to speak to local councillors and community leaders about this issue.
This is Attercliffe Cemetery, one of Sheffield's many burial grounds where space for new graves may soon run out, and local people are calling for action.
In a few years' time, burial space is going to run out. I said, what do you mean burial space is going to run out? He says, you're going to turn up one day to bury your loved one and there'll be no graveyard. We launched the petition. Within 5 days of launching, we had 5,000 signatures that triggers a debate in full council. We're well over 10,000 now, and we went to full council, it triggered a debate, and we got cross-party unanimous support.
While most people can be buried in a space that has been used before or cremated, this is not an option for Muslim, Jewish and other faith communities who must be buried in a new space. These communities are set to run out of burial space in the next 3 years.
Let's be honest, all of us are going to die and quite a few would want to bury here. So my mum said very clearly that she doesn't want to be transported anywhere. She just wants to be buried in Sheffield. So there's a personal interest for me to make sure that people like my mother's wishes are fulfilled.
While the issue of burial space has been affecting cities all around the UK, Sheffield's council has been accused of not dealing with this preemptively. According to Councillor Shafak Mohammed, the council has been kicking the can down the road for the past 10 years.
In terms of where we are now, there is a serious danger that maybe we will not have the space. I think we need to have a bereavement strategy as well. That needs to be developed for the whole of Sheffield community, because this in fact affects everybody in Sheffield.
With cross-party support for the petition, the council is now looking into 60 possible sites they could use for burials around the city. They continue to work with community leaders like Abid Hussein to deal with the problem at hand.
Your pre-lecture coffee might get more expensive as the global price of coffee beans has been rising in recent months, unfortunately. Arabica beans, which account for the most global production, have recently seen bad weather in Brazil and Vietnam, and this is having a knock-on effect on cafes across the UK and the rest of the world. Jamie Oliver-Rocha finds out more from Sheffield locals.
Everyone knows that coffee prices have been rising over the years, but recent market information has suggested that there will be an increase in prices for beans and instant coffee. Although some coffee shops haven't felt the hit, the bills seem to keep adding up.
We have had a warning from our roastery that it could change, but It also depends like what type of bean people use as well, because like we use a blend. But I've noticed in terms of like in the past few years for me, in terms of like being a customer at other people's coffee shops, I've seen like the steady price change, like even cappuccinos and flat whites. I think the VAT issue is a big issue for certain places now, and especially if the number of staff you've got or whatnot. I think for independent business, I think some places have took quite a hit, and it's getting to the point now where it's like either you close a few days a week or you just do less hours.
With climate change only worsening, people aren't very optimistic. Arabica beans has gone up by 80%, while instant coffee has nearly doubled, with people predicting that by the middle of 2025, it will go up to £10.
However, the hot drink seems to be more popular than ever. We took it to the streets and asked the coffee lovers of Sheffield how they feel about the price rises.
Sometimes you pay for quality, but I think most of the time the quality is fairly similar, irrespective of how much you pay, I would say.
A lot of people, you know, are willing to spend more and keep on going to these places because it's as important to them as like when the pubs that people choose for their beer or the restaurants that people choose for their food.
I personally do a delivery from a very good company for my coffee because I really enjoy a nice quality cup. So I'm the sort of person that would be prepared to pay more for, or I'm happy to pay what I do for a decent cup of coffee.
And in our university, the Students' Union elections are fast approaching. The deadline to apply for a role in the SU next year is the 28th of February. Elections will take place across March, with students choosing a new set of officers who will run the SU over the next academic year. Roles include President, Activities and Liberation, and Sport, among others. Forge TV will be covering the election process with updates and essential information for our viewers. After months of training and planning, Sheffield Sabre Cat's stunt and pom cheerleaders performed at their annual showcase. A raffle also took place, and the proceeds went towards Sheffield Women's Aid and the Sheffield Rape and Sexual Abuse Centre. The night was an empowering event for women in sport and an excellent showcase of all the hard work and dedication of the teams.
Hi, I'm Liv. I'm one of Pom Cheer's captains.
Yeah, I'm Amini, one of Pom Cheer's captains as well. Honestly, it went so well. Everyone did such a good job. Like, seeing all of the routines finally come together after so long, you just feel so proud watching them all do it. But yeah, it was lovely, so good.
Oh, it's so good. It's so empowering cheer. It makes you feel so good about yourself. It makes you feel confident, and it's so great to see more people getting involved.
And it's just so nice because everyone is so supportive of each other. Everyone's at the side cheering. The energy levels are so high, and it's just, even people in the audience were saying how nice it is to see everyone just coming together, girls supporting girls. It's just lovely.
At the end, we did our stun ex-pom routine, and I think that was really good this year because often, being two separate clubs, stun and pom girls get pinned against each other, and it was so nice to come together. It was empowering because we're two separate clubs, we do what we do differently, and we both do it well.
It is so difficult. They have to have so much strength, you have to have so much balance, core strength. It's just
so much respect for them.
So much respect for them, always.
And now here's Taejah Boothe, a Sheffield Sabre Cat and This Week in Sheffield reporter. Thanks for joining me here, Taejah.
Of course, so happy to be here.
So tell me more about the showcase.
So it took months and months and months of preparation. I mean, I know people only watched it for a couple of hours on the day, but there was so much time taken out of all of our schedules to, you know, prioritise making sure the showcase looked good. It's an annual showcase that happens every year. So Pom and Stunt Cheer come together and we put on a nice little performance for everyone. Everyone's welcome, family and friends. And then after, there's a nice little social at Beer Keller. So it was a really good opportunity for everyone. But yeah.
What was it like for Stunt and Pom to come together? Obviously they're different teams, so what was it like to have everyone all together in one event?
Yeah, it was great. We don't have a lot of opportunity to collab with Stunt. A lot of the times when they're performing, it's for American football or it's for their competitions. And then a lot of time when we're performing, it's for rugby or lacrosse or other sports teams. So it's very rare that we get to do it with Stunt, which was really nice. and there was a great performance with the committee where Stun and Pom both had the opportunity to try each other's sports out, and you know, all of the girls that were participating in it could speak for it to say that it was so difficult. They're two very, very, very different sports, and the skill set it takes to do Stun is so athletic. They're so incredibly strong and skillful, and obviously Pom is a lot more dance centred, so it was a lot for them to have to learn how to do that as well, so it was a lot of fun.
And what would you say to maybe first year students that want to get involved in cheerleading, but they're not sure where to start, and they might have seen this and they're inspired? What would you say to them?
I think it's one of the most welcoming clubs, and if you are nervous about doing something that takes up a lot of commitment, you know, Pom is definitely something that would be really good to do. Most of the teams are only in once a week anyways, and it's not normally during times when you've been in your lectures and stuff, so you don't have to go out of your way to do it. And Stunt have a lot of base level teams as well, so you can learn how to do the skills and then work your way up to competitions. It's a really good way to make friends, obviously, as all the societies are, and then you have socials on Wednesdays, that's great. And then you have the opportunity to perform at Showcase and Varsity, so I definitely think it's something worth getting involved in. It's a lot of fun and I've made loads of friends.
So the proceeds from the Showcase went towards Sheffield Women's Aid, right? Have you guys worked with any other charities over the year?
Yeah, honestly, I think our society's really good for getting involved with volunteering and charity opportunities. We did a lot of work for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and then we also did a lot of stuff for November. We had a bingo session, and then there was also like a hike that some of the girls did, which was really nice. And then I also managed to take part in some volunteering where we worked with a children's after-school centre with children from disadvantaged backgrounds. And then they've also done a lot of stuff for Sheffield Deaf Children's Society, and I'm sure Stunt do the same. They have a lot of charities that they work with as well, so yeah, it's really nice to kind of give back and do that with other people as well, so that's nice.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming in today. It's been lovely talking to you, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more from Cheer in the coming months.
Thank you so much for having me.
No worries at all. And now we go to Arco Dutta with the top stories in sports.
Sheffield United putting a commanding performance at Broadmoor Lane, securing a deserved 3-1 win over Middlesbrough as they kept up the chase for top spot in the Championship. Jesser and Raksaki got the Blades off to a strong start, but Borough hit back after a controversial penalty from Delano Bergzog before half-time. In the second half, though, United took control. Ben Brereton Diaz came off the bench to restore the lead, and Alan Ahmed Hutchich sealed the win. That result puts them just 2 points behind Yorkshire rival Leeds, as they hope to continue this form against Luton over the weekend. Now, in Wales, Sheffield Wednesday grabbed a huge 1-0 win over Swansea, thanks to super sub Michael Smith once again delivering when it mattered. Smith smashed in the winner from the edge of the box in the 66th minute, after skipper Josh Winders pounced on a sloppy pass from Swansea's Harry Darling. Winders drove forward, squared it to Smith, and the striker did the rest, netting his 8th goal of the season and his 3rd off the bench in just 4 games. That victory lifts Danny Roll's men up to 8th, just 2 points off the playoffs. Make sure to follow Forward Sport on Instagram to keep up to date with the latest in Blades and Owls news, as well as university sports.
Thanks, Arco. Now here's Thea Burgess with today's weather.
Hi Adam, I wish I had some more positive news for you this week, but sadly this miserable weather is set to continue. Tonight it's dropping down to 0 degrees, so we might wake up to a bit of frost. Tomorrow, love is in the air, but so is a chill, so remember your coats. And sadly the weekend is looking awful as well. We've got rain on Saturday and classic Sheffield cloud on Sunday. Whilst next week it starts off pretty cold, with it dropping down to -1 on Monday, there's a bit of sunshine peeking through on Tuesday and Wednesday, with highs of 9. So hang in there, it's going to be okay. That's all for now. Thank you so much.
And that's all for today's episode of This Week in Sheffield. We have a lot more in store for you this season, so stay tuned on Forge TV and don't forget to follow us on Instagram. As always, if there's a story you think we should cover, please let us know. For now, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and I will see you here in the next episode. Bye for now.